Hey, hi everybody. Hi Sydney. Oh, look, there's Levi. What's he doing
Hi,
here?
Steve. I was invited.
Oh, gotcha. Who in hell invited him? Anyway,
You're always invited, Levi.
Levi's always welcome here, right? Um, anyway, Levi Fellows. He's a certified professional dog trainer. He's also certified pet nutritionist, and he's very good. In my opinion, he's best in our country, possibly the world. What
Oh,
makes
no,
him so good
definitely.
is he's also budget friendly. Okay, now that I put you up on that pedestal, we'll make sure somebody knocks you off of it. Okay.
Sure, go for it.
Boy, what a show we have. And Levi's really going to help us out. Has your dog ever said, Mom, I'm fat, I need to go on a diet? Or you ever taken in a dog that was so emaciated that, holy crap, you don't know what to do. And the first thing we do is give them food. Well, we may find out that overfeeding them even early on might not be the right thing to do. We'll see. We'll let Levi fill us in on that. So, but my biggest problem is taking weight off the dog.
Hmm.
So, and because that's always a challenge. But first, you got to identify that your dog's overweight to start with. So,
Right.
wow, what a show we have. And we got a couple of we got an Akbash Great Pyrenees mix, most likely. We've got a pocket pier. You know what a pocket pier is? You supposedly, according to rescue, you can take this Pyrenees. It's so small that you can kind of put her in your back pocket and go for a walk that way. Okay, so I guess that's the definition. But we've got one of them on, and I'll tell you what, that is probably the most chill dog on the planet too. Hyperactivity is non-existent with that dog. So, but let's get going. Let's bring up our super dog first. And it's summer, and some of you may remember Krista. She's been on before, but now she's in Washington or Oregon? Washington.
Yep, Washington.
Yeah, and so sure. Does that limit where Summer can be adopted?
Yeah, so she will be adopted to the Pacific Northwest. So
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so well, let's not waste any more time. Let's
we're gonna do the video, Summer's promo video first, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And here we go. Oh, are you done yet? Or I don't want to cut you off.
No, that's it.
You got a big white dog walking behind you. I hope you have one.
It's like a cloud, like.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Okay, so we're going to get going with
Yeah, he's a slow mover.
And hopefully Krista comes back and joins us.
She will. Yeah, her screen froze, so she's logging out and logging back in.
Gotcha. So we'll take care of that when she comes back. And if she isn't back by the time the video's done, we'll just fill in some time. How's that?
Yeah.
All righty. Wow, what a play on words, huh?
Yes.
you.
Well, welcome back, Krista.
Thank you. I think we've sorted out the technical difficulties. So
And that happens.
it does. Yeah. But we're here now. So, yeah.
Well, she's littler than I thought she would be.
She's a petite 75 pounds. Yeah.
Wow.
She's
She's little.
almost a pocket pure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Sydney, you're up.
Yeah, it's funny.
up.
It's all relative, you know, because we think that's small, and other people out in the world might be like, "Oh, wow, that's a big dog," and we say, "Not really."
Mhm.
So, Krista, when you first brought her into your home, it was very tentative. So, do you mind sharing with us like what that process was like?
Sure, definitely. So, Summer had been in a foster home previously. And in her other foster home, she only had one other dog who was a little bit more senior and a couple of adults. So in my house, there are 4 other dogs. So it was a big change for Summer to come stay here, sweet girl. It was a big change for her to come somewhere new, first of all, to meet 4 other dogs. So I always start by letting the new dog kind of explore the backyard on their own first. And then I introduce the 2 who are the friendliest, like right away. And she was just a little unsure about them at first. You know, she didn't want to jump right into playing. And there was a couple of times where she showed her teeth. She didn't like growl or anything, but she just was a little bit unsure. So we probably spent like an hour in the backyard with just my 2 super friendlies and Summer, kind of taking things slow. And she started to relax, and then she got to meet the other 2 dogs. And we spent another hour in the backyard. And then it was probably like around 2 hours, she was ready to like come inside the house and start exploring. And so she just wanted to take things pretty slow and kind of check out her new surroundings. And but
she is quite comfortable at the moment.
She is. She's a snuggly girl, you know, and she wasn't initially. Like, it's probably within the last week or so that she's really started like coming up on the couch and wanting to snuggle up next to me. So it's taken her a little while to kind of settle in here, but she's really sweet. So yeah.
How long have you had her?
I think it's been about a month. Yeah.
Oh, well, shoot. There's nothing abnormal here.
Yeah, no, it's pretty normal dog behavior. I've had some fosters in the past who are like instantly your best friend, and Summer was more like typical Pyrenees, like I want to take things slow and I'm going to need a few weeks before I really want to like get cozy with you. So
sure, yeah.
Typical for the breed. Come on, let's show your pretty face. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yeah, she's pretty.
She's a very good girl. Yeah, she's got very short hair. She's not the typical like super fluffy. She's
really.
She is, but I don't think she has any Akbash in her. I have her. Oh, there is 2%. Her previous foster did a wisdom panel. So there's 2% Akbash, 3% Anatolian. She's 3% Chow Chow, and she does have a couple black marks on her tongue. I think that's Chow, right?
Yeah.
Now, wisdom panel will and embark, both of them. They are not accurate on Akbash because they're a provisional breed, and there's a lot of different bloodlines. And how they explain it to me is if they've tested one of the bloodlines in the past and it shows up again, then that's the only way it'll show up Akbash. And they said typically an Akbash that hasn't been tested for bloodline will default back to being a Great Pyrenees.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Because there's Pyrenees DNA in there anyway.
Yeah. Can you remind us, excuse me, can you remind us about how old she is? And also, do you think she needs to gain any more weight, or is she at an appropriate weight?
Summer is, we don't know exactly how old. She saw a vet when she first came into foster, and their guess was around like 4.5. So she's probably close to 5-ish. And I think if anything, she could maybe lose a couple of pounds, but she's a pretty healthy weight. So yeah.
Slender dogs are hard to feed.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. She's a very good girl.
She sure does like that brush, though.
She likes being groomed. She's probably my only dog in the house that likes being brushed. So
Wow.
Yeah.
At least you get one.
Big one. Yeah, and I mean you can see like not a lot of hair. Like she's not
Yeah.
a big shedder. She doesn't have the thick double undercoat. So
Oh.
Yeah. Does she have any double doos?
She had 2 sets of double doos. She now only has 1. So she was found roaming around a park in Washington. She was spotted there on and off, I think, for about 3 weeks. And when they caught her and she went to her first foster home, one of her double doos got snagged. So when she went to the vet, it was removed. So
Okay.
Yeah. And always remember, the only time to remove double doos is if it's a medical necessity. Okay.
Yeah.
And this was.
And and it's really interesting. I think this is a good moment to point out that them getting snagged and torn is extremely rare.
That is, yeah.
So I will tell you, this is the very first time I've ever heard it actually happening. So
And this
that's
is the second time I've ever heard of it actually happening in 41 years that I've been doing this.
So it can happen, but when people think they need to remove them to avoid that happening, we're not supportive of that, like preemptively removing them, because it's so extremely rare and they are toes that are attached. So
look how beautiful look how beautiful she is.
Yeah, she has a nice wave on her chest, and yeah, she's just a pretty girl.
She's very pretty.
Wow.
Yeah.
She's beautiful.
She's very
and
pretty.
So what do you think would be the ideal home for her?
Well, Summer, I introduced her to my nephews, and she did great with one of them is 3 and the other one is 6.
Wow.
I think she would do.
Bye, Summer. Have a good day.
Yeah, I think she would do well in a house with kids, or adults. She definitely needs to have another playful dog in the house. She loves playing with other dogs. And for being
after proper introductions, right?
Proper introductions, yes. Yeah. Summer is a barker, true to the breed.
Surprise, surprise.
Yes, surprise, surprise. Like she takes her barking pretty seriously. So I think
she can wake the dead, huh?
Yeah. I think she needs to live in a house that doesn't have neighbors like right next, It's a little space.
So if you're a hermit or an introvert, Summer's your dog.
Yeah, or like we have, I have a couple of acres, and no one minds like when the dogs bark, but I don't know that she's meant for city living. Like, so she might annoy some neighbors. And
the good news is, Washington, you've got more non-city than you do city, huh?
We
do adopter potentials. Yeah. Yeah. So look at her.
She's being very cute right now.
Yeah. Wow. And I just wish people could see Florence down there right now.
Oh,
the chill pill.
Yes. So, so Krista, too, can you remind us how many dogs are in your home already, and then their ages, and if she seems to have like a favorite playmate, or like take turns wearing everybody out, or?
So there are 4 other dogs. I have 4 dogs, and they are Anakin is 5, and then everyone else is 3. I have 2 dogs that are all the same age. And Summer has like bonded most with Toby, who is 3 years old.
I can see that on the bed, and the very last picture, they both look amazing.
Yeah, their play styles are very in line. They kind of have the same like speed of like slow bouncy hops, and
imagine that, since they both have a lot of akbash.
Yeah, they're 2 peas in a pod. So yeah, she definitely like seems to like playing more with the males. Like she doesn't play as much with my female dogs, Becky and Dottie. Every now and then, like all 5 of them will kind of run around the yard together.
Now Dottie's the cattle dog.
Yeah, both Becky and Dottie are 50% Pyrenees, and then there's a bunch like 30-40% cattle dog. So,
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but only Dottie has spots. So.
Oh, okay. Dottie
Yeah,
was on the couch with her in the video, right?
She was, yeah. And they'll all like sit together on the couch.
Okay. I'm dying to know, who is she playing tug with in the video?
That was sometimes I take dogs for boarding, and that was my friend's puppy. His name is
Really?
Benny.
A dog that doesn't even live there playing like that.
Yeah, she
Wow.
and puppy Benny had the best time. So we did kind of a slower introduction, just kind of let them Benny doesn't really do slow introductions, but
Well, you got to understand, the reason why Krista mentioned a slower introduction is because Benny's a puppy, and puppies are annoying.
Puppies are very in your face. So, but Summer adored Benny, and Benny was here for a week, and they played tug of war, and they were constantly, jumping on one another and tearing around the house. So
you really don't have any. She doesn't really have much in adoption restrictions, does she? If any.
No, yeah. No, yeah. I mean, she's a cupcake dog. Like the biggest thing is that she hears the dog barking.
Those are mine.
You probably shouldn't live in the city. So, yeah.
Okay, and that's fine. And Great Pyrenees, she's not the only one. The Great Pyrenees in general can be overwhelmed somewhat, if you may, by the commotion of the city.
Yeah.
So that's really not that unusual. And Debbie, she sounds like the perfect peer.
She's a very good girl. She also takes treats like so softly.
Oh, look at her.
So she I have the rest of my dogs are they're kind of piranhas, and Summer is just so delicate. So
yeah, she's being a little lady right there.
She's being so ladylike, yes.
Yeah.
Now, do you agree with the age that everybody says? Because you have her, you live with her. Do you still agree with the 4.5 years old?
I think so. I mean, Anakin is 5, and she might even be a little bit younger, because Anakin has, he's not as interested in playing as much as she is.
I've seen the inquisitive puppy face here every once in a while.
Yeah. I mean, she might be more like 3.5, because she really
still an adult though.
Yeah, still an adult.
Okay.
She's not well, yeah. She does she really likes her soft toys, and
no shredding, huh?
Yeah, she doesn't shred her soft toys.
Wow, that's everybody that has a dog that doesn't shred soft toys, raise your hand. No hands? Yep, I get it.
Yeah. Yeah. Her previous foster gave me a giant bag of soft toys, which was really sweet. But I have 2 who are soft toy shredders. So, so it's only, we have special soft toy time just for her.
Yeah. Every one of mine are soft toy shredders. Every one.
Yeah.
So I'm always buying soft toys.
Yeah.
And everybody says, what? Why are you buying soft toys? They shred them. Because the toy belongs to them. They're allowed to do what they want with them.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want my dog shredding Summer's soft toys.
That's right, because they're
Yeah.
Summer's toys. I get it.
Summer's toys.
Wow.
Yeah. My dogs have their own toys to shred. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to move forward. We still have another dog down there, and we don't want her to die of old age before she comes up.
Thank you, Krista.
Thank
Thank you so much, Krista. And when she gets adopted, will you bring your new foster on the show too? Well, I haven't
Sure.
seen you in a long time, couple years probably, have I?
It's been a while. Yeah. I'm happy
Yeah.
to be fostering again. So
Yeah. Well, you got that boat and everything. I get it. I understand. All right. So,
yeah.
all right. And there she goes. Hey, the timing's perfect. So, do you want us to take you down? Do you have to go, or do you want to stay for the show? And that's up to you.
We'll see.
Doesn't matter to us.
Yeah, she'll come back up here and we'll watch the show. So
Okay, good, good. Okay.
Yeah.
So our next girl is, well, if you look up the term chill pill in the dictionary, all you're going to do is see a picture of Florence, and that's all it takes. All right. Wow. And look at this. I see Florence hasn't moved since the show started. Wow.
How are you?
That is chill.
Oh, thank you for bringing her on the show.
She's very
So
chill.
it looks a little bit darker now. Her badger marks in the photos, it looks kind of apricot colored, but it looks like her ears are maybe a little bit darker.
And let me remind everybody, I just put a QR code up there, which is, you do that with your, how do you explain to them how they do that? All right. I don't do QR codes very well.
Okay, most people
Anyway,
know
that'll
how to
take you
use
to
them.
her bio. And I'm going to put the link to her bio in the comments. Sorry to interrupt you, Sydney. Go ahead.
No. So first question is this your first foster with GPRS? Can you hear us, Troy?
Yes.
Is this the first time you fostered with this rescue?
I can hear you.
Okay. She's asked if this is the first time you fostered for GPRS.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So can you share with us how she first adjusted to your home? Because she's still fairly new in your house.
I'm good with just watching her.
She did really well when she first met her other dogs. Can y'all hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
So what was the introduction like? So she did pretty good.
Okay, I think I'm on a delay.
Oh, I
That's not
think so too.
surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah, we took him in the backyard and she was on a leash, and but she just got along great with them.
So there really wasn't a whole lot of introductions necessary, is what you're saying? Boy, that is a delay.
Right? Yeah, they just took to each other right away. One of my dogs wanted to show her everything.
Wow.
Cute
Look at it.
though.
Go ahead, Sydney. I'm sorry.
But
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to give space for the delay
yeah, so there's one that she follows all over the yard whenever he's out.
Yeah. And so you have a little bit of property and you also have chickens. And can you tell us how she has done in that environment?
She's done really well. She ignores the chickens. Well, I mean, she might see them, but she doesn't really pay them any attention. She'll walk right by them. She doesn't try to chase them or anything. And we have 2 acres where we're surrounded by farmland. So at night, she does get active at night when she hears the coyotes or smells deer or whatever critter is out there.
She sounds like a Great Pyrenees.
Mm-hmm.
10-second
Well,
delay,
yeah.
12-second
Yeah.
delay, just so you know.
Well, she is really beautiful and she looks so calm right now. I know that you've only had her for a little while, but can you share with us what you think the ideal home for her would be?
We've had it for 2 weeks. An ideal home would be with or without other dogs. We have a 16-year-old daughter who just hugs all on her, and she doesn't mind. She loves being hugged on.
I see that. I mean, she hasn't moved. Is she alive?
Yes, she's alive.
Okay. All right. Well, you're not proving anything here.
Well, and so she's actually fairly young. Maybe she's about 2.5 or something. And then can you let us know about how big she is?
Yeah, they said she's about 2.5 to 3, and she came in. Well, when we got her, she was 65 pounds, and so she may be up to 70 now. She's doing really well and eating really well.
To me, it looks like she's at a good weight with what I saw and stuff. And Levi's shaking his head. Yes, that's always a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, when
I hear
she came
Levi's
in, they said
dogs
she
are
was
talking
50
to him.
pounds.
So we have an official pocket Pyr. That's the definition of chill pill that can go just about anywhere. And Florence is in Texas, right?
Yes, and Toy, we have a question for you. Debbie is one of our application screeners. So she is asking, what is Florence's energy level like? Would she do well with an active person who walks a lot and hikes?
Her energy level is, like you see, it's pretty low. We've tried taking her out, just kind of jogging with her, but she's not really into that. She will walk on a leash and go for a walk, but I don't think she's much of a hiker or high energy.
Okay. Whoops. Sorry, Sydney.
No, that's okay. It sounds like she's a lady of leisure. Do you have any idea? Has she been exposed to cats? And while we're at it, we may as well ask the question: do you know if she's been about children either? So cats or children?
We don't have any cats, and she hasn't been exposed to any. And our daughter is 16. That's the youngest that she's been exposed to. But I think she'd be fine with maybe no less than 10. I don't know if she could handle a high energy child.
Sure. Well, and because she does so well with your chickens, with a slow, appropriate introduction to cats, she might be exactly the same, very like she might be indifferent to cats being around.
We have a lot of commotion going on outside ourselves.
Yeah. And
well,
Mortimer
Amazon showed up.
Yeah. Oh, and Mortimer keeps coming and slobbering on me and burping on me.
Oh boy. All right. So are we did we get Florence covered? Are we ready to ask Levi some questions?
I think so. So Toy, thank you so much for bringing Florence on. If you're okay, we'd love to still see her in the background, her beautiful face, and just chilling out and petting while Levi discusses nutrition.
Okay.
Oh, good. All right. So, well, Levi's been on before. Levi is, Les, you started coming on the show, right around 2018?
Yeah, that sounds right. Back when you were still with NGPR.
Yeah. Don't say that bad word. Right. But it's real. No, it's not a bad word. That's just a joke. Okay. They're a rescue. They save dogs. Okay. So now, what do we do, Levi, when a rescue brings in a dog that keeps barking? No, I'm kidding. That is that is so emaciated that you wonder how they can even stand up on their own. How do you put weight on them? Okay, bye. Oh, he's going to show us.
All right. Sorry, my dogs are barking.
The show's about dogs. We're probably going to hear some barking.
Yeah, I'm just paying them for their quiet in the moment. So generally, and I have Bluetooth in as always, so I can walk.
I think I see the problem. They're not part of the show. They want to be part of the show.
Oh, I'll put one of them on. Generally, when we have there's one of them. When we have a dog that is emaciated and we're like, how is this dog even standing or breathing or living? Weight gain, no matter the context, can and should be done in a slow context. We're not in a rush, even if it looks like they're not doing well, for them to gain that weight, especially as their body is reabsorbing these nutrients. Let's say in a situation getting used to having a full stomach again, and then just so that their joints don't suddenly take on too much weight at a time. Low and slow is the way to go with weight gain. but offering things that are nutrient rich in an appropriate and controlled fashion, as opposed to, say, in some contexts, free feeding, low quality kibble, and then the dog just fills up on like carbohydrates and mycotoxins, unfortunately. And so it's things that like organ meats, or let me see, um, just things that are like,
Looks like he's at
bioavailable
Kroger.
proteins. Yeah, so I mean, just a couple ideas of what I feed. Things that are going to be super bioavailable, low carb or low filler ingredients. Organ meats are super nutrient dense, but we want to take them easy.
Organ meats. So
Yeah,
like lung and liver and stuff like that.
yeah, lung, liver, heart, brain, spleen, kidney, anything that you are comfortable handling. If not,
You lost me at the brain.
I have some in my freezer. Um, but if people are uncomfortable with handling those or sourcing them, which is totally fine, then
What
something
about
that's going to be
dehydrated or freeze
balanced.
dried? What
Yeah,
about
so this is your
dehydrated?
freeze dried here. And so those are easier, cleaner ways to handle them. But in the context of something complete and balanced, say, it generally comes out in a shape that most people should be relatively okay handling. And so this is what that would look like without anybody having to be uncomfortable or more
Okay.
uncomfortable. Um,
Right.
and so I also have here, if it will share, so bear with me here. I created a really brief. Let me see.
You have
Um,
Levi is part of New Hope Behavior Consultants for the Guardians. He actually has a page up there called something like Levi's Books or something like that.
yeah, just recommended reading.
Yeah.
Okay, and then can. All right, so here's something that I made briefly last night, just to kind of put us on a talking course, or else I will ramble. So here, sorry.
We're gonna make that. Well, no,
Uh,
you're doing good. We're gonna make that a little bit bigger, Levi. Okay.
yeah, go for it.
There we go.
I'm obviously not very good at this. So when we're looking at a body conditioning chart here, and I know it's harder with some of our big fluffies, we are looking to be able to, generally speaking, easily palpate the ribs without having to dig and search, despite the fluff. And so we also want from either an aerial view to see like an hourglass figure. And this goes for both dogs that need to gain weight or lose weight. So I run into a lot of people who are like, my vet said my dog is too skinny, and I'll look at the dog and I'm like, I think your dog is fine. Like,
Yeah.
we as a society do normalize overweight animals, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so, and that
And
goes alongside with, of course, people as we gain weight. So do our very close companions.
yeah. Hey,
Now,
Levi, I think the on the right hand side of the menu for the PowerPoint is where you can actually do the full blown PowerPoint, and it'll be bigger.
Okay. Wait, sorry, maybe this?
now, while you're doing that, Levi, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Oh, look
Yeah.
at that. Perfect. Nice work, Sydney.
Yeah, what's your question, Steve?
Okay, my question is there a proportion on average of, say, for example, the dog has to lose 10 pounds or needs to gain 10 pounds? What is that equivalent to in human weight in so far as proportion that if we lose 10 pounds, how much is it that a dog would be losing?
Sure. So taking off the basis of, like, let's say even a medium-sized dog or a large-sized dog, like a Labrador Retriever that is meant to weigh 50 pounds. Anecdotally here, for every 1 pound overweight a dog of a medium to large stature should be, is 5 pounds overweight on a human. So
Okay, so
for
it's a
our
1 to
dogs,
5.
relative, and of course every body is different. I've got a pocket here
Right.
that, of course, builds
But
muscle
what I
mass
was
differently than
getting
my other.
at, all I was getting at is there is a pretty good difference.
Yeah.
So if somebody's saying my dog's 30 pounds overweight, are you skeptical about somebody saying that?
Yeah, because then I'm wondering, like, first of all, what is the dog? What should they weigh? How did we get here? But when they're saying 30 pounds overweight, they're like, he's only 5, 10 pounds overweight, but it's a Chihuahua. I'm
Right.
afraid for your Chihuahua then, unfortunately, compared to like something like a Great Dane that, obesity doesn't help anybody here, but
No.
Great Dane can wear 10 pounds much better than a Chihuahua or something teeny tiny. So something of note as well is that with our dogs that have either had knee and hip or joint injuries or are prone to them, then we really want to watch the weight, because the inflammation from there can also further exacerbate joint degeneration, and then of course inflicts general pain or chronic discomfort for them.
Right. Now, but with an emaciated dog that comes into rescue, and a foster gets the dog, and you want to put the dog on a plan to gain weight, going low and slow, what do you recommend as a target? How do you go about figuring this out? What to feed them, how much to feed them, etc.
Sure. So I guess a couple different things with that. I guess because I can briefly just offer you like general like words of advice, which would be like we'd offer them maybe a puppy food instead of adult maintenance. We'd offer them like something that's going to be higher in fat as and a healthy fat, as opposed to like, something that's been cooked in grease and taken oxidation damage. But with those guys, we're watching, on a week by week basis as we feed them, as well as watching the content and quality of their stool for bulking or gaining dogs weight. Because if we start seeing loose stool or diarrhea as we're offering them extra calories, generally shows we're offering them too much all at once. And then diarrhea is nobody's friend here. And so as we're watching an emaciated dog slowly start to gain weight and gain shape, and then, doing our regular BCS body checks here, can tell us if we're going like at the right pace, or if we need to slow down, or suddenly we've shot past our target goal and now we are leaning more towards a 6 and a 7. Fortunately here as well is that I'm generally, unless the dog is actively wasting away in front of me, I'm generally less concerned with somebody that reports their dog is underweight or too thin, because they'll gain the weight. They will. Or we figure out the calorie basis and then monitor stool as we up what they're eating. But a dog that is even slightly underweight will always be healthier than a dog that is slightly overweight.
Okay. Now, I know you're not a vet.
Feel like
I'm
you
not a
should
vet.
say that again.
Yeah, and only put it in terms that I can understand this time.
Sure. So our dogs that are going to stay, at a 5 or lower are going to be at much lower risk of course, inflammation, chronic diseases, illnesses, genetic markers turning on that we don't like. And then, of course, the obese animal relatively loses about 2 years of their lifespan to their healthy adult counterparts.
Right. Now,
So
putting weight on too quickly can have medical issues too now, like pancreas issues, I think I read somewhere.
Yeah, so if we're offering, depending on our sources here, too much too fast, yeah, we can absolutely trigger pancreatitis in our animals here. Where we can strain their kidneys and stuff.
So one question I have for you, Levi, is when you have a puffy cloud of a dog, it can be difficult to actually see their true body composition. And so are there other ways that we can be tuned in to like what they're
what happens if you can't see their ribs through the fur?
Yeah.
Right. And so that's where we're doing our physical body checks of, can we feel, digging through the fur here, then feeling like they're just general lean muscle physique or lack thereof. We can also look for, so I was recently taught, when they're sitting down and you're looking from the top down at their cute little face, if their head is, generally speaking, smaller than the rest of their body, like a tick, can also be a general indicator. In some dogs, depending on as well their skin and coat, I usually say if we see jelly rolls in their skin, so usually at the base of their tail is a pretty easy indicator, or we're not seeing, I know it's hard in our big fluffies, but a sharp tuck from the torso to the groin can also indicate that we might be carrying some extra body weight here.
Thank you.
And that depends on the breed also, because some breeds are more slender than other breeds, like, for example, the Greyhound.
Oh, absolutely. And so
Yeah.
that's where we're, looking at the full picture here and feeling the rest of the body as well. But spine can be another indicator, although it's definitely, this is a rough um, estimation way, but sorry, let me,
Right. And we're talking about Great Pyrenees anyway, because most of our
yeah,
viewers have, well, at least livestock guardian breeds.
yeah. And so when we're I'm sorry, I have another here as well on how to roughly start calculating what our dogs could be eating. So I have a few more pictures here, but this is a really rough formulation on how to calculate our dog's caloric needs. But it's only a rough jumping off point. We feed the dog in front of us, not the dog on the paper. And so for anybody that either wants to look for something like this, or the internet has plenty of free available calorie calculators. Those are only good.
Wait a minute. Now, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Google has known to be wrong. So,
sure.
Do you have some information that you have confirmed is actually good information to have?
I mean, I guess a couple different brand specific feeding calculators. So where they'll give a general idea of how much to feed based off of activity level and either desired weight, and then weight of
The
food.
reason I'm asking, I had a website one time from Google recommend feeding the dog corn.
Yeah. Sorry, 1 second. Noodles. Yeah. So I guess depending on who your sources are, unfortunately, there are plenty out there that are going to suggest.
Did you hear that? I mentioned the word corn, and your dogs don't like it.
They immediately didn't like it because it is generally feed grade is what's in their bags. And I actually have a picture to kind of show you and compare here.
I'm talking about whole kernel corn.
Yeah. That it's
digest is the problem.
Right. Our dogs have limited ability to break down carbohydrates and starches, with some breeds as well having fewer copies in their pancreas to further that process based on domestication. And so, the ingredients are everything here, and that should be my next. Not all food here is made equal. So feeding our dogs.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Right. I won't be able to afford I won't be able to afford that one on the right for quite some time. Like ever.
Perhaps, depending on your sourcing and location here. But it's just that even if we were to say, oh, my dog gets 5.5 cups of food on the left, but let's say the feeding guidelines for the food on the right says 2.5 cups, the dogs can gain or maintain weight very differently based on the ingredients and the
right. I've always totally disagreed to recommended feeding amounts on the bag of the dog food.
Correct. Yep. Feeding guidelines are just that. Put your head down.
Yeah.
Guidelines will always overshoot to accidentally prevent.
Yeah. Now this
and it's a particularly sensitive for Great Pyrenees who have a slow metabolism.
That's right.
It tends to be even more. It tends to actually be erroneous. Like on the back of the food bag for a lot of brands about what you would the amount you would actually feed a Great Pyrenees.
Okay, I see some red flags in those ingredients on the right-hand side.
Oh, there we go.
Number one, there's no protein source in there. Corn is not a source of protein.
Right.
Right.
Number two, I see a known cancer causing carcinogen in there. BHA.
Yes.
A preservative.
Yeah.
So that's a very low budget food, I would have to say. Something like a pedigree or a dog chow or something like that.
So this one is actually IAMS.
How about that? And I recognize the color. That's why I brought this up.
Yeah.
Just because they're highly advertised doesn't make them good food.
Correct.
Right.
Read your labels, and Levi's going to go in to show you how to read the labels right now, right?
Yeah. It's even that because
well, he was going to show you how to read the labels.
He'll be back in a sec, I'm sure.
He'll be back in a second. Elon Musk must be mad at him right now. He's got Starlink. He should be back in a minute. He knows to exit and come back in. But anyway, let's go back to this while we're getting Levi back. Man, those ingredients we were always taught to. Oh, you're back, Levi? There you are. Yep. You're back. You're not frozen anymore.
Okay. Yeah. So when we're looking at a bag of dog food here, or people food, cat food, horse food, whatever, the the bag is listed by weight of prevalence in the bag before it's been cooked. So
Before
for food
cooking,
that
right?
says chicken is the first ingredient, chicken is like 74% water. So we're looking at the second and third ingredient a lot closer. In the example of the bag on the left here, I'm sorry, I'm going to pull it up on my other screen. Uh, we're looking at whole grain or ground whole grain corn as our first ingredient, and then meat and bone meal, which is a mystery meat. Because they've not named any animals, they also have no idea what's in that.
That could be
Soybean,
shoveled up off the floor, even, right?
yes, so that it also legally can be taken from shelters, zoos, roadkill, um, poorly stored or transported animals, unfortunately. And there is direct connection as well to meat and bone meal having too much fluoride in it, which then
Yeah.
builds in the calcium deposits of our animals that are eating the food.
Okay.
Um,
Soybean meal. That's next.
Yep. So soybean meal, soy, which is known as a heavily GMO treated product, is also an endocrine disruptor, Silas. Um, and so for especially female dogs, this can damage their hormones or at least negatively influence them. Animal fat, so it's an unnamed animal source here again, preserved with BHA and citric acid. BHA, which as Steve mentioned, is a known carcinogen directly connected to tumor growth. Um, and then corn gluten meals. So they've done something here called ingredient splitting. It's a marketing technique. I'm sure you use everywhere, human food too. But by calling corn or soy or wheat or something different words, they make it look like it's less prevalent in the bag than it really is. Um, so the number one ingredient in here, I mean, ultimately is corn, unfortunately.
And where's the protein at? So where are they cleaning protein here?
Yeah, so their
Chicken
protein here is the
flavored.
chicken byproduct meal, most likely. And byproduct, while true that it is the discarded remnants that didn't make it to the human food chain, are often sourced from 4D meat, dying, dead, diseased, disabled animals. And so when it's meal is not a bad thing, but byproduct is where it gets unfortunate.
Wow. Okay, so let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a generalized food that you can recommend for somebody, like they bring in a new foster dog and we don't know the dog? Is there a food that you can recommend that it has to be budget friendly, because not all of us are have unlimited income like you do, maybe, but
definitely not.
but it's got to be budget friendly. Is there a certain food that you can recommend that's safe overall?
Right. So, I mean, it's ultimately going to depend on people's ability of sourcing and location. But I guess just depending, and then certainly as well, briefly, the better quality we feed, often the less our animals eat. So and then the less they generally go to the vet or require supplements and medications. So it is something that does, in a sense, balance itself out. But even so, that because some dogs will eat less on one food than the other, then we may go through the bags at different paces anyway. So otherwise, answering your question here, just depending on what's available, I know that like Diamond Natural or like the Tractor Supply version for health can be pretty cost effective. I like things, of course, like again, depending on people's availability. I like From. I like Taste of the Wild is fine.
Remember, I said budget friendly. From is not budget friendly.
Their From Gold line is like $55.99 for a 30-pound bag.
Really? Okay. Well,
Diamond
that's
Naturals
not that bad then.
Diamond Naturals up here is $67.99.
I pay 41 something for a 40-pound bag of Diamond Naturals, so that's actually not that far out of line with the From.
Yeah, so just again, depending on your sourcing and like location. So like,
wow,
Chewy
cool.
does not ship up here, but I know Chewy can be a pretty easy way for a lot of people to gain access to stuff.
And that's what I do. I use Chewy because if you put it on auto ship, you save a percentage of you get a percentage of a discount. Okay. So that's why I use Chewy.
But to
they
kind
don't
of compare,
understand.
like a bag of at least at the store that I'm over here by. So a bag of like IAMS is like 69.99, whereas the bag on the right here, which should be the Tundra, would be closer to, unfortunately, here 124.99. But noting here in mind, and I'm not saying go out and buy the bag on the right, but that at least the first roughly 15 ingredients are all a whole protein source. This is a case where you truly get what you pay for,
Right. Let
comparing
me
to
ask you
like
this.
69.99.
We were always taught growing up, well, ever since nutrition became mainstream, if you may, we were always taught to read the first three ingredients. Has that changed?
No, it hasn't changed, but my thoughts are if, let's say, arsenic were ingredient number 15, you still wouldn't feed the bag of food. So
Agreed.
I think it's important
but I
to look
don't,
further than the first three.
yeah, I'm going to be similar to most Americans or most humans. I don't know what some of these ingredients, if they're good or bad. I have no idea.
You're right. And so finding something that's going to be simpler and more limited ingredient of words that we can pronounce and understand. And just like in our human food for that transparency, I know can be more expensive and harder to source, but in the long run, depending on whatever you're able, it does pay off for our animals here.
Okay. Wow. And there you have it. You just got a breakdown of your label of ingredients.
And then the feeding guidelines here to like not miss out on anything here. Feeding
The honest
guidelines will always
kitchen.
overshoot. And so we don't have to feed them the number that it says. And that especially if we're seeing loose stool or diarrhea, barring medical conditions, tends to be the first indicator that we're overfeeding something. That we're just hitting
And
over that
I'm going to
floor.
tell you right now, with my dogs, with any of my dogs, that label would be overfeeding my dogs.
Yeah, so especially here in our LGDs that all seem to, or many of them, of course, seem to have a slower metabolism than other dogs their size, we can feed them way less than what the food says.
Right.
So just kind of as an example here, the Honest Kitchen feeding guideline here, where it says 71 to 90 pounds, I guess with less activity, 2 to 3 1/4 of a cup. My boy here is actually only getting 1.5 cups on his brand of food because
and what's his good
higher
weight? How much does he weigh?
Too much. So yeah, I calculated the wrong number and fed that for too long. So
Well,
it's a
that's
work
okay.
in
You're human. You're allowed to make mistakes.
And he's got these big brown eyes, and he's just so hungry.
Yeah, I know.
So,
But what is his weight? What I'm all okay. Let me. I'll take you off the spot. I'll take you off the hook. My Charlie was 154 pounds. He got 2 cups measured of Diamond Naturals. I'm sorry, 4 Health salmon and potato recipe. He got 2 cups in the morning, 2 cups at night, and he was at a good weight at 154 pounds.
See, and for me, just kind of hearing that sounds like too much food for my dogs.
Right. But that was his. But you live in Alaska.
Yeah, also that
makes a difference, right?
Yeah.
You're never going to hear the end of that, just so you know.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so like where my boy here has to cap it around 800 calories, or else he does continue to gain weight. 800 is about where we're maintaining, so we're doing another drop here soon. But for our dogs that do need to lose weight, and I know that in the moment, or whoever's making you nervous here, is insisting like, oh, they got to lose it right now. Low and slow again is the way to go if we're consistent and as human as we can be. Our dogs can safely lose 1 to 2% of their total body weight per week for that to be healthy. And so we're
that's
not
not much, is it? That's not much.
And so if it's like a pound a week, so be it. And then for our dogs here, I know this can be the confusing part of, oh, my dog plays fetch a lot. My dog runs around a lot. Active for like the feeding guidelines is generally defined as more than is an hour or more of intentional movement. And so if you're like, my dog runs around in the yard for like 15 minutes, that is not active.
Right. And the best way to, now you correct me if I'm wrong. I've been told the best way to exercise your dogs so far as burning calories are through structured walks.
Yes. Yep. So just getting those structured strolls out there, or other time and weight bearing activities that are appropriate for the dog in question. And then again, just truly feeding less. There's a lot of diet foods out there that are just higher in fiber, and the thought is to slow the motility of the food down in the stomach. But our dogs are still hungry because it's just fiber and not protein.
Yeah.
Right. So what do you do in a
energy.
case where you feed your dog less food and your dog comes back with those big puppy eyes and say, Mommy,
Mhm.
or Dad, I'm still hungry. I'm going to die if you don't feed me. But if you feed him more, he's going to look more like a football with legs.
Right. So part of that can be taking a closer look at what the panel is. If we're just eating corn and it's high glycemic, no wonder so that they're still hungry. But otherwise, we do have some fresh food additions that you can add to the bowl.
Thank you. How
Yeah,
about
and
green
these are
beans? How about green
yeah.
beans?
So green beans, cruciferous vegetables, barring any thyroid conditions. So your leafy greens, spinach, kale,
Right.
broccoli sprouts, Brussels sprouts in moderation. Um,
Mhm.
And then with vegetables here, we do want to lightly steam them and then either puree or finely dice them. So it's better for our dogs to break down. Because
Yeah.
as facultative carnivores, they have limited ability to break down plant cell walls. Um,
Right.
so make
And
doing
orthopedic
most of the work for them
surgeons,
helps.
yeah, orthopedic surgeons will tell you the best management for orthopedic issues is weight control,
Yes, especially for our giant breeds here.
especially
Um,
for a giant breed, right? Well, I got to remember that some people may not have Great Pyrenees. They might have Shih
right,
Tzus or something instead. Okay.
right.
So we do have to specify that giant breeds. You're right.
Yeah. And then berries can be a good addition as well for some dogs that take the whole thing in their mouth and then they spit it out like a pill. If you smash it
Now
first,
I scramble one egg every day for each one of my dogs.
sure. Yeah, eggs are a really great source of like whole body nutrients. I
Mhm.
like to think of it as because it's an egg, the seed of life, that it has everything a life needs.
Right.
And I know that there is the myth as well out there about feeding raw eggs to our dogs can create an avidin deficiency, and that's generally only if the egg whites consist of more than 20% of their total daily intake.
Okay.
Is when we actually run
Well,
that risk. So one or
yeah.
two or three raw eggs, twice, 2 or 3 times a week, they will be okay.
My
Um,
veterinarian told me one time, if I won't eat it raw, don't give it to your dog raw. How accurate is that?
so this is generally inaccurate, just depending on what we're feeding, because our carnivores here have a shorter stomach tract and a more highly acidic stomach tract.
That
Things
means
like
they
salmonella,
digest
listeria.
quicker, right? Are you
Yes,
saying
for
they
humans, it's about
digest
24
faster?
hours. Yep, dogs
Okay.
are about 4 to 6. And so in healthy, non-immunocompromised dogs, most of them will pass even bad bacteria pretty quickly.
Yep.
But of course,
But
we play the
it can
individual.
still affect them. It's still capable of affecting them because most vets will tell you dogs can get salmonella, E. coli, just like humans can. They can do
And
it.
most dogs as well will also get those from just their standard dry kibble. And so it's
That's right.
less about raw as an issue and more about general human
That's
sanitary
right.
practices.
Yeah. So there you have it. Wow. Anything to add before we go? We're already on overtime, Levi. And
Yeah,
I
just
can't
marine
afford to pay
sources are
Krista and Toy
really good for our
overtime.
dogs here. If we're doing marine sources, your smash fish, which are low mercury occurring fish, so your sardines, mackerel, salmon, anchovy, and herring. If you prefer to do them in a canned style, water only, no juice or brine. But those can be a phenomenal source for anti-inflammation, hip, joint issues, and then just general stress management in their body.
Wow.
Thank you so
So
much. I
Of
mean, it's just incredible to hear you talk through all of this because um, we need reminders, and we just as dog owners we want to do our best, but sometimes we don't think about
Mhm.
all of these important details. So this has been so valuable.
all right. And if you
Good.
have
I'm
any
glad.
questions for Levi, you can actually book some time with him at no cost.
Hmm.
And you go out to
I'd love to talk about pet
newhopepyrs.org
food.
/get help, get dash help. And now Levi would be one of your options. There'll be Zach down there. I'll be down there, but Levi, he's available on Sundays and Wednesdays, I believe, right?
That's right. And then I'm 4 hours behind the East
Alaska
Coast
has,
time.
Yeah, Alaska has weird hours. Okay, so just so you know. Well, your Starlink is working good though now, or
Oh yeah.
whatever your internet was. Yeah.
Yep. Starlink is working real
Yep.
good now.
Yeah, we only tied you. You only tied up one time.
Yeah. Not too bad this time.
It's technology. It's going to happen. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, but he actually had to move his receiver from his neighbor, whom was over the mountain. You always remember he's in Alaska, and he had to move the receiver into his house. So, and was it you that told me one time that you have to pay extra for indoor plumbing in Alaska?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't
It's
laugh.
really expensive.
Yes, don't laugh. It's true. All right.
Yeah, the other
I
ones are
didn't
called
believe it
dry
until I
cabins.
Googled it. I actually
Hmm.
when you told me that, I actually looked it up. I thought you
Hmm.
were just kidding around.
No, it's really normal up here, unfortunately.
Now, so tell me again what's happening up there. Why are you still there? He
I
left
love the snow.
Michigan, south of Detroit is where he used to live, and he moved to Alaska.
Yep. Oh yes. Getting
Well,
a
thank
lot
you,
more snow.
everyone. Yeah, yeah. Thank you, everyone, so much for coming on. Thank you for bringing Summer on. Thank you for bringing Florence on. It was lovely to see these beautiful girls. And thank you, Levi,
Absolutely.
again for all of your wisdom.
Of course.
Yeah, it was great to see you again, Krista. It was very nice to meet you, Toy. This has just been very informative show. And last week we had Roman Gottfried on, and he covered a little bit of nutrition, but he was covering behavior. And if you guys missed last week, you can go out to YouTube, GPRS's YouTube, or Great Pyrenees Rescue Resources Utah Montana's YouTube, or Mountain Mamas Pyrs and Pups YouTube, or New Hope's YouTube, and you can view the shows. Facebook deletes them after 30 days. Only live videos. So if you upload a video, they're not going to be deleted. All live videos are now deleted after 30 days because they didn't have anything to do one day. That's the only thing I can figure. But anyway, thank you guys all so much. And we're going to go. And what do we got going on for next week? Any idea?
It is a GPRS headquarters show.
Thank you. We get to go with Molly to GPRS headquarters, and I think she's there right now even, and we're going to get an idea of which dogs she's going to be featuring. Okay.
Yep.
And
She's schmoozing with dogs as we speak.
yeah, so this is so awesome. It's always a blast being down there at GPRS headquarters, and it's just amazing. I've been there in person. It's an amazing place. It really is. And a lot of dogs, and they're able to house a lot of dogs and keep them safe. Because technically, when a dog first comes into rescue, that's where they usually go first, right? Where Summer came in, but she came in Washington, right?
It depends. Yeah, it depends.
Yeah.
But
they're not going to transport her all the way down to Houston just because she came into Washington just so she can go to headquarters first. That's just not how they do that. That's too hard on the dog. So. And can you imagine transporting him to Alaska? Levi had to transport both of his to Alaska.
Yeah.
So, and Rena says thank you. Debbie says thank you, Levi. You seem to. I mean, we always get misinformed about nutrition, and TV commercials are the number one misinformant. Wouldn't you agree with that?
Oh, definitely.
So. Well, think about it. Pedigree tells you right on the bag, everything you need for your dog is right in this bag. How are they allowed to do that?
There's a lot of wiggle room in the marketing world.
Yeah, because they're just dogs. So pay attention.
Yeah.
Ingredients matter. What do you think of the website called dogfoodadvisor.com? He analyzes ingredients.
Yeah, I think I guess
he's
just
not a
depending on what you're
nutritionist.
looking for. Right.
Right.
I think he has got some good information, but a lot of it
he gives you an idea if but I'll tell you what, if he doesn't if he gives it a 0 review, you might want to move on to a different food maybe. Yeah. All right. But he's also, you remember, he's not a nutritionist, but he does employ a nutritionist. So but anyway, there are places you can go. There's people you can ask, like Levi. I'm not a nutritionist, so you can't ask me. I'll refer you to Levi. I do that all the time. All right. So, all right, everybody. Bye, Krista. She got tired of hearing me. Levi, thank you. Hopefully you'll come on again.
Oh yeah. I'll see you guys when I see you guys.
Bye, everyone.